James Kaufman, World News Report today. Trump's economy is dying, and here's the proof. Unemployment rates jumped to a 4-year high in November. This would have been a 10 or 20 plus year high if we didn't have the COVID losses in 2021. An unexpected jump in the unemployment rate to 4.6% in November after a terrible job print in October. The U.S. lost 105,000 jobs net. In other words, no jobs or no new jobs were created. Let's also consider what they call labor force participation rate, some crap that they use to offset the unemployment rate, which basically says anyone not employed for 6 months but is of employment age and probably looking for work, well, jumped to over 40%. So we'll have to add this 40% to the new unemployment rate of 4.6%, meaning almost half of the people that are seeking jobs desperately can't find one. And the jobs that are available suck. We're talking about minimum wage and part-time. They're all part-time crap where it's necessary to work 2 or 3 jobs just to pay the basic bills. Of course, these jobs come with no paid time off or benefits of any kind. The federal government employment is down by 271,000 jobs since its peak in January, down another 168,000 in October and November alone. That part I do like. The number of people who had to find a second job just to make ends meet soared by almost 500,000 people in just 60 days. That number is now 9.3 million people, the highest on record. Some more highlights, or should we call them lowlights? The number of jobless less than 5 weeks was 2.5 million in November alone. The number of people employed part-time for economic reasons was 5.5 million in November, an increase of 1 million people from September. These 5.5 million people would have preferred full-time employment, but were working one part-time job because their hours had been reduced or they were unable to find full-time jobs or a second part-time job. They say another 29 million people are part-time by choice, but who can believe anything in this report, as we know it'll all be revised downward in a month or two. They say the number of people not in the labor force who currently want a job was reported to be around 6.1 million people in November, but we can look at the labor participation numbers and know that that's total BS as well. They've added a few new categories to this to reduce the unemployment rate. We have to add another 1.8 million job seekers to this first. They're calling these people marginally attached job seekers. They've been looking for a job, but haven't made an application in at least 4 weeks. The Office of Labor Statistics has added one more category to help reduce how bad the economy looks on paper. They refer to these workers as discouraged workers who believe that no jobs are really available. They say that number is around 650,000. You would think, since we're losing jobs so quickly, foreign-born immigrants would be getting hit hard, but they actually gained 58,000 jobs in November. So this entire ICE crap is not working out at all, at least for native-born Americans. As far as younger workers, their rate of unemployment is much higher. It started out at around 25%, went up to about 30%, depending on how old they were. and their sex and race. But you know what? I'm sure many more are working jobs that don't pay a living wage and are living with their parents. Full-time jobs are pretty much split between men and women currently, with women closing that gap very quickly, and they're about to be the money earners. That is not by the male's choice. The male has to deal with the entire DEI and LGBT plus crap, and that liberal female in the human resource department that would rather hire a chimpanzee than a male. Blacks are more than twice as likely than whites, Asians, or Hispanics to be unemployed, with a rising unemployment rate of over 8.3%. All races' unemployment rates rose for the last 2 months except for Hispanics, who's dropped drastically. Go figure. Step it up, ICE, big time. I guess the only thing we can be happy about is the stock market did not shoot up another 1,000 points. Most Americans have little to no investments left at this point. Wall Street is starting to feel the pain. But if you're not in the market, you surely won't notice. And if you are, you need to cash out and stop playing a game. You'll never win. In summary, Trump's American job market is the worst it's been in my 57 years on this planet, and it will only be getting worse in 2026. Remember that old saying, "Do you want fries with that, sir?" A quick visual from the year 2000, when we had unemployment at 6%, which was really closer to 56%, and today, and where we're headed. Now, Trump took office right here. Unemployment was handed over at 4% and rising, and he was given a terrible economy, one that, well, had printed money to stay afloat. I don't know if anything can be done about our future situation, but I pray that something is done, because there's going to be a lot of homeless and hungry families on the streets next year if something drastic doesn't happen or something doesn't change. This is regularly when they lead you into war to cover their financial crimes against humanity. God bless. Share and subscribe. Always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world.